So we should be good to start building. I'm going to use our dark oak logs. And I'm going to clear out a little area. This isn't going to be the best first house ever, but that's not the goal. I don't want to build a final, perfect god tier house. Obviously, we want to build something that is more or less suitable for the tier of game that we're currently in, which is early. We're in early game, so we're going to build an early game house. Hear you. Hello. Yeah, and we do have the reach enchant, so we can reach a little further, which is very nice. That's on our chest plate, by the way. So that makes that a little easier. I believe these are a part of Ars Nouveau, these trees, so I'm going to leave these alone. Because I don't... Ars Nouveau really isn't my thing, but I want to maybe look into it. I mean, we're going to have to, but not until a later time. So I will wait for as long as I probably can for that one. Just not really my style. I wasn't a huge fan of Ars Magica at the time. But yeah, so I'm going to build a house, and I'm going to build it on camera. And I'm going to build it the way I've been building houses lately. That way you can see sort of my thought process, right? So I'm going to start with something simple. Let's look around here. I look around and I see this clearing. This clearing tells me I would want to walk into this. This is where I'd want my house door to be. At least one of them. You can have multiple. So I'm going to start to build this out. I know that I tend to like to have when you have little areas like this that kind of lock you into the front entrance area, that's called a vestibule. I kind of like those, but sometimes they're a pain, so I may pass on one this time. Whoops. And I'm going to go ahead and start with a pillar here. I know that this is going to be a representative corner, basically. And I'm going to go ahead and build this down because I think that's probably how I'm going to want that shape to go out to be. I tend to like to keep things aligned with these wooden supports, so this will go all the way up and then over. So I tend to like to keep things aligned there when I can. And so now I'm starting to look at this and think, here's what I could probably put in here, this space. Well, if I open this out into like a kitchen, for example, then I would want a room maybe over here for all my storage, and then we'd have kitchen, and then we'd have machines. So maybe we look into some sort of build like that. And if we do like that, then what I'm going to probably want is I like to part off the rooms as I try to think them out. So I'm going to part this off here, and this will be machines over here, right? And then as I build this together, I'm starting to see, okay, well, I would maybe want to have another support here. This tree's getting a little bit in the way, so I'd maybe want to knock it out. Same goes for this one, unfortunately. But that's okay. These trees are pretty easy to replant. So, as we get going here, we have a very small machinery room. I'm realizing that as I look at it, so maybe we'll put this back one more block. There's no shame into digging it into a bit of a wall here. This is totally fine. You can always do all the terraforming you need to get everything fit. But I'm thinking, like, this will be my basic early game. Like, I have a pulverizer, and I have a this and a that. I also realized that I think I did this. Yep, that would be better to have it this way. And so now you can kind of see, okay, we would have a room here. This would have a bunch of machines. These machines, who knows, they'll just be a few things or whatever. So now I'm thinking I would probably want a storage room. So we would have this area here. Make sure that I've got all my proportions and dimensions correct. So we walk in, we have this nice big open area. Maybe we have storage with 2 entrances over here and over here. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 3, maybe here. Have a space of 2, or we could do a double door into storage. That could be cool. Because I didn't count anything. I just kind of built it how I felt like it was flowing. I'm also building it based on what I think is going to be really convenient for early game building, as far as getting these logs to match up, because I don't want that to be too big of a pain, if at all possible. So now if we were looking at this and I want this to be a nice big storage room, then I'd maybe want it to come out to here for a storage area. So that's in the middle, and this is... Sorry, I'm making sure I did my math roughly correct, right? Because I want this. Yep, perfect. Down. And so now we have this pretty decent-sized storage area. It feels relatively shut in right now because I'm using these border walls to differentiate, but you can open these up. You don't have to keep them as shut in as I'm making them. I would probably keep my storage room open because I don't want to have to weave and dodge and do whatever, but I like to be able to kind of make it a little more maneuverable. As for this, I'd like a little bit of extra wall space to have my cooking equipment, my kitchen, and my whatever over here, so maybe I would do something like this. So that's just sort of how I'm thinking this all through. We do have a couple of places where we could put supports if we wanted them. I, for one, think that having supports that kind of fall in line with things is particularly nice, but sometimes they can't, and that's okay too. I'm going to cut down a couple of these trees that are still in the way. And so now you look at this, and it's a weird shape, but it's not like impossibly strange. We can make this work. And as I start to put these supports up, hopefully you'll kind of see that work its way out. I'm going to make this a bit of a shorter house because it's early game. I don't have a lot of resources. In fact, I have so few resources that I'm going to be cheap here. Put dirt in the... Shh, don't tell anyone. So we'll do that there. We'll put out some of these, whoops. Put some of these dark oak logs all the way over. And I'm probably going to keep the little wooden supports to a bare minimum just because of how shy we are on most of our resources. Whoops, that's one too high. Got an ice shard trinket. That sound never fails to scare the pants off of me. Alright, there's that. Let's pick up our excess because I cannot waste any wood right now. Let's see, we had blocks here. Yeah, we only have 6 left, so we're going to have to be a little more conservative, but that's okay. Again, I'm going to be cheap here. Normally, I would not do this. And honestly, on a house the size of this scale, I kind of feel like it's a little strange to have these crossbeam style supports unless there would be one. So we'll see. I'm going to play around with the idea of not having one. And just see how that goes. It definitely looks like we're going to either need to cut down a couple of these supports or just not have them at all. We'll just see. I am going to go and put one support here. Right, so you can see this is all coming together a little bit. We'll take this out and block there. And let's see if we have the resources we need. I think I've picked up some bones along the way. See if we can grow ourselves a dark oak tree. With 6 bone meal. We're definitely going to need a bit of a clearing. This area over here should actually be really nice. Dark oak saplings are weird. They do not like to be crowded. Perfect. Okay. Very lucky. Very lucky. We'll actually be able to finish this in full. That's very, very, very lucky. I don't like that I just vein mined all that, but that's okay. I'm going to place a good bit of it down and then clear out the rest. So when I hover over something and hit the delete key, by the way, that lets me delete it. So if you're wondering how I'm doing that, that's how. Okay, so we've got those planted. I do think we can now manage to afford to do full supporting. Let's go ahead and put this down. Do a block there, there, here, and here. Do the ones on top. These. And now we should be in decent shape. I'm going to extend these up. Whoops. And over, but I'm not going to make a downward beam over here to there. Just not really necessary. Sleeping bag time. Especially with the rain. Absolutely sleeping bag time. Let's take a look at this ice shard trinket. I now frost what now? Provide me with Frostwalker. That actually does sound pretty useful. As long as I'm expecting it, I guess. You know, like Frostwalker in general. Owie. Anyways. Something like that. I'm actually gonna... I put these up for visualization, but they're messing with my head a little bit. So we'll have a little area like that. I'll just put that there. I think that's pretty alright. Now, I wouldn't ever put limestone inside my house. I would personally not go for that look. So keep that in mind as you build these out. Like, if you need a dividing wall, that's totally fine. Of course, you're gonna probably want some at some point. But use a material that you'd probably want inside of your house, you know? Like, chances are you're not gonna want limestone walls inside of your actual IRL house. Maybe you do. Not my place to judge, but just things that I think on. So I am going to go for dark oak separators, and what I've been playing with lately is make ourselves an axe, because we're also going to need to craft a couple other things. Let's go ahead and make ourselves some of these dark oak slabs. I have a button now. Don't want that. And let's remove these. And I've been a really big fan of dividing spaces when there's not much space to divide in the first place, of dividing them using slabs. And so, yeah, we'll have... I think this area is really going to benefit from windows. I don't think we really want to lock this in too much, or else it's going to be really drab. You know, it's going to be just really a drab place. We have the aspen logs. I wonder... Nope, they do not accent whatsoever. I was thinking about probably doing the roof with aspen, just because, you know, early game, we just want to get a roof on this place. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Oops, forgot a corner. So, let's grab ourselves a good bit of aspen here. Like so. And for the roof, I think I'm going to use slabs, if you couldn't tell. Just because I have a bunch of them available. This shape is weird enough that I don't want to hassle with it right now. I could hassle with it later for sure, but at the moment, just don't really want to. So rather than trying to make it work out, I'm just going to keep it simple. So we put these down. It's this part right here especially, I know, would be kind of a big pain to do. And now I'm going to climb up here, whoops, and start on this process. We'll do one block higher. I have not gotten used to that reach yet. It's pretty crazy good. Just a lot of reach. That reach is really something else. Wowzers. I may take this off. It's kind of a bit unwieldy. Anyways, so yeah, this whole process is pretty straightforward. I'm just building up a slabbed roof, so whenever this is done, I will come back. So there we have it. We have a house with a roof. No walls, but that's okay. We can deal with walls next. So, for the walls, I'm trying to figure out, I think probably the usual combination here would be best. So we'll do these, and we'll keep that around. So what I like to do normally is to break up the outside a little bit. Like we're going to have maybe a small amount of trouble with this, but that's not going to be the worst to deal with. Make ourselves some stairs out of these. Stairs out of these. So maybe we'll have like a single stair here with here, and we'll do like down the sides. This one I may keep completely open and do a 3x3 window. I think that could probably really help this area out a little bit with the closed-in feeling, because it is feeling pretty small, pretty cramped. Just sort of the nature of a build this size, this height, everything, the color palette as well. Not very helpful, very conducive to a big open feeling. Get my point. So yeah, looking so far, we are managing to fit a window in here and there pretty nicely. Not going to be all too closed in the end. About done. I don't have enough logs to try, or else I would. I usually do something kind of fun for the front awning, but we don't have enough resources. So we'll just leave it simple. Something like that. I always like how that looks. Oh, this is two. Yep, there we go. The lack of a floor kind of throws me off at times. Here's hoping I didn't mess that up too many times. Process of doing this. Be nice if you could pick block into somewhere else. So for this, I'm thinking we want to do 2, or do we want to do 1 and 1? Maybe just 1 like that. All right, so taking a look at this, well, I clearly forgot the flooring offset with the ground level. So yeah, I think that looks good. I definitely prefer this look, honestly. It looks pretty good like that. So why don't we do something like that instead? Having them come down. so looking on the outside. Make this wider. I don't know why it didn't. I think that's as good as that will get, and then we do that. So yeah, there we are. This feels a little better. Once we get a floor in, I think we'll be in a great position as well. For the floor, I got an idea. Why don't we take a look at the aspen, but stripped? Oh, you know, I should probably make a shovel. So, if we were to flatten this whole area out, there's that. And so I was thinking of doing the classic varied parquet style. For some of these rooms. I kind of don't hate it. It works okay with everything else. So maybe for that room and for this room. There we go. That looks pretty all right. We can cap this off with one of these and two of these. Do we have a druid graph? No. What mod changes that texture then? I always thought it was druidcraft. Anyways, yeah, so now we have this little dividing wall area that we need to turn into some form of a feature wall. Well, kind of. Let's do that. And I was thinking what we could do is we could do the same thing we did over here. Like so. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Have the 4, obviously. Now, the problem is I don't know what to make the floor out of either. We do have the cherry wood. I don't know how that's going to interact. Let's just play with it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. The plank is a lovely color. Honestly, that kind of brings it all together pretty nicely. Just like only for accents. I wouldn't use it everywhere. But definitely as an accent, I'm pretty cool with that. I like that. So then, what about the log texture itself? No, that looks terrible. Alright, well, what are our choices then? Just come take a look at the mountainside rock du jour. Oh, there's a spawner in here. True shot. These can be converted to leather, right? That's actually very useful. I'd like to get a backpack soon. Thieves' Hood is also very useful. Cast a spell at half a cost of the user. Interesting. We have a throwing knife tetra schematic. Not super interested. Use while sneaking to set a location. That sounds useful. String. Also useful. This whole thing, very useful. There's another thing we can do that I just remembered. What's this? They're logs. Why are there zombie noises? A lot of questions. I may end up... I'm feeling like redoing this roof. I'm not a huge fan. But what we can do is we can do set home. And now we can use /home, get back here at any point. Looks like we do have a good bit of stuff to sort through right now, so maybe I'll just toss a lot of it into here. Now, just had a thought. What are you doing, dude? Just notice. Let's make another couple of iron picks. And then we can come over here and grab some Jasper. I think Jasper would make a better early game roof than anything else. With these planks. That should not have knockback. Alright, so now that we're around back here, let's mine ourselves a couple of stacks of Jasper. Jasper is very pretty. It's a very good roof replacement. Oh, I am hungry. That's a problem. So let's yoink this roof. I'm gonna yoink this as well. And I think what would be cooler is to use the stripped aspen for the floor. I think it's gonna look better. Not gonna look great by any means, but it'll look better. We could also probably afford to use cherry for everything, and that would go really well with the roof. Okay, so let's get some more cherry, maybe? Oh, how did that grow? Oh, these are not mushrooms, or yeah, mushrooms. Yeah, let's see. Oh, get rid of that too. So, yeah, I think we should have plenty of cherry to cover the floor. That's going to be perfect, I think. Let's do that. Oh, I want to make sure I have my sleeping bag with me at all times, because it is dangerous outside. And I've not set my spawn near here yet, which is something I'm regularly kind of worried about in the back of my head. All right, this should be pretty quick to finish. We need to get glass for the wall and window, obviously. We need to fill in this, which should not take too terribly long. I know the cherry is not ideal, but it's really hard to match limestone, and this seems to be working pretty well. Not to mention the fact that this is like our first house, so it doesn't have to be perfect because we're not going to live here forever. There will come a day that I will just look at this thing and say, yeah, I'm tearing this down. That's the purpose of this house, is just to keep us alive and thriving for the first little while. I think this looks pretty okay. I think some white windows will really help lighten up this area. And the Jasper Roof, which we're going to work on right now, will be a nice complement to that cherry and will make it work a little bit better. Let's get that Jasper Roof put in. So Jasper has this beautiful red tone to it that really works well with bricks. It lends itself beautifully with bricks, if you have any. I don't, because it's early game and I don't want to wait forever to smelt something just to put a house together. I want to not die and I want to have a house to live in. I think I've made my point on that pretty clear, though. Chest plate off. So, you know, the Jasper is going to do a really good job just on its own. You can also, what I probably should have done, and I combine it. Oh, okay, I probably should have turned it into smooth or polished Jasper. Not too late to do that, actually. I realized I said that as if it was too late, but it's not. What we can do, let's make ourselves a trowel from quark. Trowel is this. Yep, let's get 2 of those. We're going to need them. And let's get more of these. Another recipe? I don't think so. And now we can take these and make them into half slabs. So now what we can do is take our trowel here, or we will put plain jasper and polished jasper. Now in these areas that I just pulled up, I am going to put the polished jasper in that place, just because that's roughly how this trowel tends to work. It's pretty random, and that's just the design, and that's why I made it. So it will randomly place anything in my hotbar that can be placed. Just picks anything that seems like would be the kind of like it won't try to place a seed, for example. But yeah, it works like this. So these trowels are very useful. They're also very cool for just getting the randomization in. If you want some noise, if I want some tiled roof that looks like it's falling apart a bit, then totally permissible. That's like totally a good look for this. Now, I'm going to refill. And let's see what I can do about... Okay, not much. That's fine. You know, last time I built this, I did not round out that corner there. I left that empty, but I think I'm going to leave it this time. I think I may also round out this corner. No, I don't think so. I wasn't really sure, but I think I have made up my mind on that matter. So yeah, this is, overall, this is a very useful tool for putting your stuff together in a random way. And with Vein Miner, it makes getting these resources pretty easy, and honestly, I kind of appreciate that. Like, you know, I like having my hard packs, but I also like being able to just say, oh, you know what, I didn't like the roof. Let's pull that up real quick, and then let's find a different material to build it out of, and get enough of that to build it. And not have to spend an entire episode doing that. Right, so we can do pretty simple top layer roof, just like so. Beautiful. 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 This feels a little better. Again, it feels very grim and dark in there because we don't have any torches. Let's get some torches. I believe I've got plenty of coal. Yep. Let's grab just enough. And let's start lighting up this area. So we're going to have torches here and here. Maybe here and here instead. And do there, there. And then inside of here, we'll have torches on that wall. Inside of here, we'll have torches over here. Maybe up a block. And that should make this all mostly lit up. It might be cool to have some glass in the little spots here, 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 and that corner. We'll see. It could be very nice to have this completely opened up, actually. Oh, that F7 menu takes the frame rate right out of my computer. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and eat some of this food, grab some more food, and then let's get this build finished up. I know it's not perfect, but look, like I said, it's just here to cover my bum while I play. I'm not gonna need all these Jasper slabs. I will go ahead and trash them. I know a lot of people are probably upset about that, but it's just not, it's an excessive amount of material. Same for these aspen slabs. Okay, so what was it that I was just thinking on? Sand, then a furnace for the sand, which we can make out of this. Cannot make it out of that. What do I do? Please send help. The scoria, for some reason. Okay, well, that's fine with me, I suppose. There should also be an environmental film. This could be useful for the glass. Mud brick, mud ball, mud. Okay, so if we find some mud, I'll grab it. We should be good on food. Let's put some of this stuff away. We want this always with us, that's for sure. That gives us more defense, and it's a better hood. Alright, so let's look on the map. Let's see. I'm here. That is unfortunate. I don't see a way for us to get sand anywhere convenient. And Sandy City is in fact not sandy whatsoever. Most deceptive name. Alright, so that puts us over here. Here's that river. I bet we could probably meet up with it. Rivers tend to have a lot of good stuff in them. Yeah, let's run over here. When I get to the river, we'll see if there's enough stuff. There should be. They're usually pretty packed with good stuff. So I was headed towards the river, but I came across this. I know what these are. These are... Yep, they have some stuff in them. They're pretty simple little structures. They're just cute little above-ground ocean monument temple things. Not monument, ruins. That's what I'm looking for. I believe that's Chocolate City over there. So here's the river. We have Frostwalker as an effect. Turn that off. Take a nap real quick. On this ice that could break any minute now. And let's dive down and just grab what we can. I clearly forgot my shovel, but that's alright. We can still vein mine. So since this was super far away, I don't want to make this trip again. I will absolutely remember that this is over here. Okay, so both on account of the fact that we are very far away, and also that I want to make sure that we have in fact activated this. I feel 90% sure that we have. I am going to go ahead and climb this tower again. Yeah, it looks like we have. Okay, good. That way I can get the waystone, and I'll probably also try to fix up... what I like to do is I like to steal ladders from the sides of these, so that I can use them permanently fix these up. I didn't this exploration phase time. Like, it's different then, obviously. We're trying to just get stuff and leave. But when it's something that I'm going to use regularly, I obviously fix them up to the best of my abilities. That should be way more than efficient to get this all nice and cleaned up. And then we'll clean this up with those. If there's anything from here I wanted to bring, I could always grab that. And we'll just head home. And look at that, we are home. So, I did not see any mud. So I didn't really think to check. There's got to be mud over there. But no, I'm not seeing any. Okay, I guess there just isn't. You would think, but no. I know I'm wasting XP. I don't really care. There are some very overpowered mechanics in this mod pack that allow you to compensate for any small losses. Especially when they're inconsequential like that. Anyways, I have enough coal coke here to smelt, what, 16 items per... ink? Or is that just not a thing anymore? Here we go, fuel, 16 items. So yeah, let's smelt up half a stack of sand. With all this extra sand and clay, we have definitely got stuff to use it with, but there. While that smelts, I will go ahead and organize this stuff real quick, because I let it get messy. So what I like to do is just throw everything out and then start over from within an inventory, basically. This stuff I think I kept pretty well organized. Yeah, good. Okay. So that. These things I think are good in there. Building blocks. That's not building block. And so now we can grab some of this clay. That's that in building blocks crate. And now we have a clean supply of just miscellanies. Little random things. Much better. Okay, good. At this point, I really don't think a lodestone is going to be so important to us. I will keep the sushi on me, and then I believe where we want to be heading is a backpack from at Backpacks. These require 4? 4, okay. We have 3. Is there a way to make that 4th one from anything we may already have sitting around? Does not look like it. Piglin bartering. That's cool that that's in here. I like whatever's adding these recipes in. We can get the scorched lanterns too. Very nice. Yeah, I'm just not seeing a way to make that happen. Anyways, that's all right. Totally fine by me. We're at 11. It is 8 to get started, so that's great. Let's grab 2 of these and turn them into white dye. And with the white dye, we can make white glass. And white stained glass is really what this build needs. It needs something to help lighten it up a bit. Okay, toss that. I don't know it actually. The white's really going to be of assistance here. Should also grab a couple more limestone block, because I know we have these little spaces here that we wanted to keep as full glass blocks. Almost done. Leaving you. So there's that. Now we can create a little more. I'll go ahead and do this first. Did we have connecting glass? I'd be really sad if we did. We did. Is there a glass cutter? There's not. I'll just take the F, boys. It's fine. It's worth it, honestly. Okay, so we have this. I might... I don't know. I want to terraforge this out a little bit. Terraform this out a little bit. But I'll probably do that off camera. It's not really that important to me, and it's a very tedious process. Just like waiting for the sand to smelt. Is that going to be enough? Yeah, that should be enough. Once that last 8 smelts up, we'll be good, I think. There's a way to make it back into the plain glass. What is that? Combine it? Okay, that works. Yep, and now we don't have any waste. That's ideal. Cool. So we'll do 3 and 2. That opens this area up pretty nicely. And now we have 5. This is feeling straight up like a cabin, and I kind of don't love how this feels, but our choices are minimal. You know, we don't have a lot of materials. If I could replace the floor, that would probably help a lot. It just feels very cabin-y. If we open this up, that'll help too. I'm not really terribly sure. All right, we should be good there. We can make the last of our stained glass. And then we can make it connect. So I'll go ahead and grab everything we have and start to bring it inside. And now we can shut that in. I'm going to go ahead. I don't really know exactly what is within these, so we'll just toss them down and figure it out. We will put that there. No, kind of hate that. I may put it right outside here. I think there's a blind spot right here. Yep. So if we grab a crafting table, we can just toss a bunch of vanilla-ish machinery over here for now. Let's get ourselves a door. What would really help is if I had some spruce, which I don't. Grab that. Move this over here. Turn off F7. Get my FPS back. That feels a little better. Again, it's the floor and the ceiling. It's just very dark. This is a dark color palette. It doesn't feel great. But you know what? It's a starter house. So with that, I think I'm going to call it a first episode. I know it was a very long one, and I appreciate you for sticking through it if you did. Next time, in between episodes, I'll be mining some and getting some resources, kind of getting started. But I definitely want to get this house, probably fully replaced. I'm not a huge fan. But again, it's a household. It'll work for now. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay. Fortune 6? Fortune 6. and